6 o'clock.
Top stories, real voices.
Have arrived in Lagos, according to authorities in Nigeria.
Tune in to Adamimogo 107.7 FM for a fresh perspective on news. Adamimogo 107.7 FM, the voice of the light.
A suspected bank robber leading officers.
The presidential candidate of the
News is always on the go, and we get the stories firsthand as they happen, where they happen. We bring the information to you undiluted, verified, accurate, balanced, and without bias. Told from a human angle perspective. We interview the actors and the experts. All facts laid bare. From Nigeria to the rest of the globe, we deliver the news on time and in time. This is News Express on Adamimogo 107.7 FM in Ido-Ekiti.
On News Express, I am Kingsley Iniovosa. The news in detail. I will begin from Ekiti, where a magistrate court sitting at Ekiti has remanded a human rights lawyer, Dele Farotimi, over an alleged case of defamation against the Are Afe Babalola, the founder of Afe Babalola University. Farotimi was arraigned for allegedly publishing a book titled Nigeria and its Criminal Justice System, where he alleged that Are Afe Babalola corrupted the judiciary and procured judgments in the Supreme Court, thereby exposing him to hatred, contempt, ridicule, and damage his hard-earned career. However, Dele Farotimi pleaded not guilty to all the 16 court charge. In his ruling, the presiding judge, Magistrate Abayomi Adeosun, remanded the suspect in prison custody and adjourned till December 3rd. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Bar Association has called for the release of human rights lawyer Dele Farotimi of allegations of libel leveled against him. In a statement today by the NBA president, Mazi Afam Osegwe SN said his arrest was a breach of the rule of law. I think that's the alleged offense of libel for which Dele Farotimi was reportedly arrested is not recognized as a criminal offense under the laws of Lagos State. Rather, Criminal Law of Lagos State 2011 revoked the criminalization of defamation by omitting it from its provisions, saying the progressive legislative move aligns with global best practices, which treats defamation as a civil wrong rather than a criminal offense. The Nigerian First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, says the President Bola Tinubu-led administration is committed to the well-being of Nigerians by ensuring that all citizenry access quality health care services. The First Lady disclosed this in Abuja today at the 25th anniversary of National Hospital in Abuja, with the team celebrating 25 years of quality services and expert care. She commended the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohammed Pate, the Chief Medical Director of the hospital, Professor Mohammed Braji, and all the staff members for their commitment to improving the health and well-being of the citizens. Following the controversial reform tax bill by the President, the Colleges of Education Academy Staff Video, COEASU, has warned the federal government against killing the Tertiary Education Trust Fund through its purported tax reform. In the statement signed by the union's president, Dr. Smart Olugbeko, declared that the tax reforms is merely a dangerous ambush intended to undermine public tertiary institutions in Nigeria, as the union firmly rejected the elements of the proposed tax administration that seeks to withdraw or restrict funding sources for TEN Fund. The union further alleged that there may be a covert attempt by the elitist political class to completely dismantle public tertiary institutions to allow their capitalistic privately owned institutions to flourish, similar to how public primary and secondary schools were allowed to deteriorate. COEASU consequently urged the federal government to enhance and diversify its revenue sources to support the fund's commendable efforts in Nigeria institutions rather than undermining that fund through the proposed tax reform. Following a series of deliberations by lawmakers aimed at resolving disagreements over tax reforms bills that sparked debates among stakeholders in the last couple of days, the Senate leader has directed its Committee on Finance to suspend further action on the proposed tax bill pending the outcome of a high-level meeting with the Attorney General of the Federation. The Deputy Senate President, Senator Barrow Jibrin, who made the announcement during plenary today, disclosed that a special committee has been constituted to address argumentative issues in the bill, with the meeting scheduled for tomorrow, Thursday, December 5. Members of the special committee includes Abba Moro, Chairman Tahir Mongono, Alero Adamo, Kalu Oji, Sirek Dixon, Zam Titus, Yahya Abdullahi, Adiola Solomon, Sane Musa, Abiru Mokaila, as well as the entire leadership of the Senate. The Anambra State Universal Basic Education Board have sacked 6 teachers for sabotaging education in the state by charging money for sundry reasons. The board has issued extended warnings to teachers and school health, allegedly damaging Governor Chukwuma Soludo's free and compulsory education policy. The executive chairman of ASOBEB, Dr. Vera Nkiru Nwandinobi, disclosed this at a press briefing in her office today. However, she mandated the sacked teachers to refund all monies collected from pupils and also hand over to the next ranking officer and step down from their positions. According to her, head teachers in the affected schools were charging fees for extra lessons, ink fillers, for markers, blue pens, and red pens, and also allegedly got the Parent Teacher Association to agree that every child will pay 200 naira for the cleaning of the school toilets, despite the state government's provision of 50,000 naira monthly running costs and interest to cover such expenses. Nwandinobi emphasized that the state government will no longer tolerate such irresponsible conduct and dismiss any health teacher or principal who goes contrary to the free education policy. She also enjoined the public to join hands with each and the state government to fight corruption in the education system, tasking parents and guardians to report any school held or teacher who demands unauthorized fees to the appropriate authorities. In order to improve the frontiers of socio-economic development of the states to improve ease of doing business, Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun has presented the 2025 appropriation bill tagged Budget of Hope and Prosperity before the State House of Assembly today. According to the governor, the proposed budget is expected to be focused on road infrastructure, healthcare delivery, and security, among others. Governor Abiodun solicited the understanding and cooperation of all stakeholders to ensure the success of the fiscal year. Kwara State government has today demoted the school teacher accused of maltreating a youth corps member posted to the Government Day Junior Secondary School, Kulende, Ilorin, the state capital. In a joint statement by the Commissioner of Education and Human Capital Development, Hajia Sadeatu Modibo Kawu, and the Executive Chairman of the Kwara State Teaching Service Commission, Malam Bello Taoud Abubakar, the government said the investigative panel set up on the matter found Ajia Amzat Fatima Nike guilty of fighting on duty, use of foul language, insubordination, and disrespect for the national identity which the uniform of the corps members represents. The statement, which said the behavior of the teacher contravenes public service rules, added that she has therefore been demoted by 2 grade levels. The state government reiterated its zero tolerance to such abuse under any guise and deeply regrets the action of the teacher, as it reassures the management of the National Youth Service Corps that the development did not represent the people of the state and it will not happen again. The state government urged the teachers in the state to remain law-abiding at all times by performing their duties in accordance with the laid-down procedure, as the state government will continue to prioritize training on teaching ethics and procedures of service. Motorists in Ondo City have expressed a deep concern over the poor state of road infrastructure in the council area of Ondo State. A cross-section of motorists, commuters, and stakeholders alerted this to newsmen, lamented that the dilapidated state of most roads is largely responsible for the recurring road traffic accidents, which often result in significant loss of lives and property. According to some drivers, Tayo Aloba and Stunji Ujo, the alarming increase in the frequency of the usually fatal crashes could be drastically reduced if the roads are properly repaired and maintained. As they identify the Ondo-Akure and Ondo-Ife highways, some sections of the Ondo-Ileoluji road, and several major township roads that are urgently needs to be repaired. The motorists and commuters expressed growing anxiety over the worsening state of roads in the council area, urging both state and federal authorities to take swift action. In a move in response to growing security concerns in Osara and its surrounding areas, the Kogi State government has ordered the immediate closure of Zango Market in Osara and bans the roadside parking of trucks in the vicinity. In a statement by the Commissioner for Information and Communication, Kingsley Iniovosa, he said intelligence reports indicates that criminal elements have been using the market as a hideout, often in collaboration with some truck drivers who park along the roadside. He noted that to ensure strict compliance, the state government has given market operators and truck drivers a one-week grace period, starting today, to adhere to the directives, after which enforcement will be fully implemented. Meanwhile, ahead of the Yuletide season, men of the underworld have been on a rampage in Kaba Bono local government area as the newly elected councillor representing Odoakwe ward in Kaba Bono Legislative Council, Alaba Okbe, and 8 people were kidnapped overnight at their various communities. The Pan-Niger Delta Forum has warned the advocates of the Biafra Republic to stop including communities from the Niger Delta and the South-South geopolitical zone in their secessionist agenda. In a statement signed by Dombe Doyenga, Panda's national youth leader, explained that the Niger Delta is not part of the Biafra Republic, assuring that it will resist any further attempts to associate the region with such plans. He warned that the Niger Delta youth would not take it kindly with any efforts to disregard or belittle their leaders and elders through provocative publications or pronouncements by Biafran agitators. He affirmed that PAMDELs believe in the unity of Nigeria. We are advocating for a nation where states control their natural resources and contribute to federal governments for national security, foreign policy, and territorial integrity. You're listening to News Express on Adamimogo 107.7 FM, transmitting live from Ido-Ekiti. After the break, business, foreign, entertainment, and sport news. Please stay.
Is here with us again. Oh yes, Adamimogo 107.7 FM Ido-Ekiti is using this medium to inform and invite children, parents, heads of nursery, primary and secondary schools, churches and individuals wishing to sponsor children and be a part of our 2024 Father Christmas show beginning from 2nd to 24th December 2024. Come and let's revel in the season of love and giving. It promises to be fun-filled. Our Father Christmas will arrive from Rome and be seated at his grotto in our station to receive children, dance and play with them. There are lots of take-home goodies and gifts from Father Christmas, as well as toys and play gadgets to make children's visit interesting, long-lasting, and memorable. For further inquiries, please contact Desmond Olaoluwa on 0806 511 4430 or Bayo Babalola on 0803 562 5812. Adamimogo 107.7 FM Ido-Ekiti 2024 Father Christmas Show promises to be exciting. Be a part of it.
Glad to know you're still there. You can subscribe to our YouTube 0811-801-8242. Now the rest of the bulletin. On business news, finance and insurance sector grew the economy by 30.83% on CBN rate hike. Let's join Ayomide Surulere for this more.
Good evening and welcome to Business Updates. The finance and insurance sector's real gross domestic product rose to 30.83% in the third quarter of 2024 on the tight monetary stance of the Central Bank of Nigeria. According to the latest gross domestic products GDP report, growth in this sector in real terms totaled 30.83%, higher by 2.62 percentage points from the rate recorded in the 2023 third quarter and higher by 2.04 percentage points from the rate recorded in the preceding quarter. The report further disclosed that in terms of growth, the finance and insurance sector's real GDP rose to 5.51% in quarter 3 from a 3.70% increase from the rate recorded in 2023 third quarter. Experts say the financial services sector growth appears strong but unusual owing to the aggressive rate hike that occurred all through the year. Still on business news, Nojim Yusuf, a tax and finance expert, has clarified that former President Muhammadu Buhari introduced the use of third-party technology platforms for tax administration and collection in the Finance Act 2021. He added that controversial tax reform bills sponsored by the Bola Tinubu administration do not introduce the provisions but maintain the existing legal framework. According to Section 18A4 of the Finance Act 2021, the Federal Inland Revenue Service may deploy proprietary or third-party technology to automate the tax administration process, including tax assessment and information gathering, provided it gives 30 days notice to the taxpayer. This section has generated a lot of controversies as critics claim that federal government is planning to use Alpha Belta, a consulting firm allegedly linked to the president, for collection and administration of tax. And that's all on business news. I am Ayomide Surulere.
Thank you, Ayomide Surulere. On foreign scene, UK to deport popular Nigerian pastor Toby Adegboyega. Kehinde Ayodeji has the details.
Good evening. You're welcome to Foreign News. The British government is set to deport popular pastor Toby Adegboyega to Nigeria after losing his case against deportation at the Immigration Tribunal. Recall, the UK government had shut down his church, Spark Nation, after investigations exposed a misuse of funds by the church leadership. It was gathered that the UK authorities closed the church after Adegboyega failed to properly account for more than £1.87 million of outgoings and operations with a lack of transparency. However, according to reports, an immigration tribunal ruled that he should be deported back to Nigeria after investigations. It further revealed that after arriving on a visitor's visa in 2005, Adegboyega has lived in the UK unlawfully ever since. Still on the foreign scene, South Korea's opposition parties have submitted an impeachment motion against President Yoon Suk Yeol over his declaration of martial law. Reports says 6 opposition parties lodged the bill in parliament today. Recall the opposition had earlier threatened to launch the process should Yoon not immediately step down over the purge order, which prompted chaotic scenes overnight as lawmakers tussled with troops in order to enter the National Assembly to vote it down. Report added that the main opposition party that holds a parliamentary majority, Democratic Party, said in a resolution issued following an emergency meeting at the National Assembly, Yoon's declaration of martial law is a clear violation of the Constitution. That's all on Foreign News today. Kehinde Ayodeji is my name.
Thank you, Kehinde. On entertainment news, South African singer Tyler has broken Beyonce's record for the most streamed album by a black female artist released in 2024. Tyler's eponymous debut album is the all-time most streamed album by a female African artist after amassing 1.565 billion streams on Spotify, surpassing Beyonce's Cowboy Carter of 1.564 billion. The lead single Water has garnered almost 1 billion streams on Spotify. It won the maiden Best African Music Performance category at the 66th Grammys. However, Tyler's album and his deluge were snubbed in the recently announced 70 Grammys nominations. She remains the most awarded African artist this year with 20 awards, including 1 Grammy, 3 MTV Demas, 2 BET Awards, 1 MTV VMA, 1 Billboard Global Force Award, 4 African Music Awards, 1 Cultural and Creative Industry Award, 1 ESTV Content Creator Award, 1 Free Music Award, 1 Metro FM Music Award, 1 African Arts Entertainment Award, 2 Basadi in Music Awards, and 1 African Style Awards. On sports updates, the final match of Ekiti State Governors Cup football competition among secondary schools in the state, Christ School at Ekiti crowned the winner of this year's football competition as they defeated F1 High School F1 Alaye by 3-0 at Oluyemi Kayode Stadium at Ekiti yesterday. Sports stakeholders who graced the grand finale includes Ekiti FA Chairman Chief Olurebo Dr. Setoba, Commissioner for Sport, Sports Writers Association of Nigeria, Ekiti State Chapter, SWAN, among others. Elsewhere, Kwara United have announced that the postponement of their match day 60 feature against Eyimba of Aba, which was initially scheduled to take place on Saturday, December 8th. The game was moved due to Eyimba's CAF Confederation Cup engagement against Egyptian giants Zamalek in their second group game of the competition at the Gaswell Akpabio International Stadium in New York. With our sports story, we've come to the end of today's edition of News Express. But before we go, a recap of our top stories. We told you that followed a series of deliberations by lawmakers aimed at resolving disagreements over tax reform bills that sparked debates among stakeholders in the last couple of days. The Senate leaders has directed its committee on finance to suspend further action on the proposed tax bill pending the outcome of a high-level meeting with the Attorney General of the Federation. Remember, we told you that a magistrate court sitting at Ekiti has remanded a human rights lawyer, Dele Farotimi, over an alleged case of defamation against Afre Babalola, the founder of Afre Babalola University. And we lastly informed you that the Anambra State Universal Basic Education Board have sacked 6 teachers for sabotaging education in the state by charging money for sundry reasons. The board has issued a stern warnings to teachers and school heads allegedly damaging Governor Chukwuma Soludo's free and compulsory education policy. And that's News Express on Adamimogo 107.7 Olojudo's Palace, Ido Ekiti. On behalf of the